Gluttony was written from two perspectives, one of which being a person that was able to accomplish a lot of external success, you know, fame, money, relationships, those type of things. But all of these things didn't really bring that person a sense of fulfillment. And when they kind of looked around and saw what they had, although they had a lot of things and they were able to accomplish a great deal of success, it just didn't provide them the amount of fulfillment and happiness and joy and peace even that they had initially thought when they went to set out for these things. The flip side of that is a person that sees that person that has everything and is aspiring to accomplish a lot of things, but tends to get wrapped up into trends and what everybody around them is saying and not really listening to themselves and identifying and being clear on the things that they want for themselves. So the song Gluttony was made with those two perspectives in mind. So how did I come across this beat? Back in 2018 or 19 or so, I came across this beat by Rose Gold Beats, and shout out to them. They did a great job with kind of crafting a beat that's real mellow, laid back. It kind of has that spooky, eerie vibe. And originally this song I was thinking more of like a smoke song, but there's kind of a problem with that is I don't really smoke. So that was back in the time where I was really just trying to craft music that I think people wanted to hear. And oftentimes, I've said this before, when I select a beat, I let the way that beat sounds, the vibe of that beat, I let that dictate the lyrics a lot of times. But back before I really found my artist voice, and I'm still kind of figuring it out, but that wasn't something that was really authentic to me. I do feel like I can make music even about things that I may not do or have experienced myself. Part of being an artist is to kind of reflect on the world that you see. But nonetheless, I felt like, hey, I'm not gonna go that route. I'm gonna just hold off, and then came back to it later. And this is the result of what, you know, me coming back to it later sounds like. All right, now let's get into the hooks and the lyrics. So pretty much how I came up with that, I pretty much write in sequential order sometimes, just depending on how the producer laid the beat out. So if they made it such that the hook starts first, then I write the hook first. Or if they start with a verse, I start with a verse. So I just follow pretty much the rubric that the producer had already started. Virgo, analytical brain, it's just easier for me to just kind of go in order. It's just kind of how I get down. So in this track, started off with the hook. So really was just kind of playing around, scatting different things. It actually wasn't the easiest thing for me to write, but eventually I settled on fast cars, living large, designer clothes, big boat, big house, a lot of friends, got some likes but not enough. I gotta get my follows up, right? So essentially just really, once I kind of started off with that fast cars, kind of went that route, like I started brainstorming, like, okay, what are things that people strive for, right? What are those typical external validation type things? So I wrote all those out, you know, what I could push in there, I could, and eventually just kind of came up with the hook. So after writing the hook, I just followed that same vibe and started writing that first verse. And it was like, started off like, dang, why I'm tripping? Know the kid blessed up, thinking I done messed up. You know what I mean? So just kind of that person coming to that realization that, hey, all these things that I've accumulated, man, it ain't doing it. So throughout the course of the verse, I won't do a lyric breakdown here, but pretty much throughout the course of that first verse is just a person that's saying like, man, I messed up. These things aren't providing me the fulfillment that I thought it would. And then pretty much at the end, it's just like, at the end of that first verse, it's like, well, at least you got to see me do it for all these things. So like it's kind of coming to that realization and accepting that, hey, I understand now that these things don't validate me. They don't bring me a sense of fulfillment. And it's like, well, I'm not gonna be depressed or get sorrowful about the things I created. I'm just, from this point forward, I'm gonna move, you know, in a way that is reflective of my new consciousnness, right? So that's the first verse. The second verse, initially I wanted to have two features on this song. I wanted my boy Ant. Well, actually they're both called Ant. So you got East Atlanta Ant, which is a dope artist from the Bay Area that I think he's really talented. I really love his creativity. Definitely got bars. So I wanted to get him on there just because I know that he would be able to speak to the topic very well as my homeboy Ant. And he goes by a bunch of different names. I don't know which one he goes by now, but he's the one that actually I started rapping with from the very beginning. So I wanted to get him on here. Things didn't actually work out. So East Atlanta Ant was the only one able to jump on this one with me. But me and my brother Ant, the other Ant, is gonna, we gonna lock in soon. So nonetheless, he came in with that second verse, and then he put his own spin on it, pretty much really just following the vibe of the song. And then I came back in at the end, and that last verse, that third verse on that song, is the one that touches on kind of a little bit of a journey that I'm going through now, where it's like, okay, I'm trying to become accomplished. I'm trying to make an impact. And when, as an artist and as you do, YouTube or whatever else, it's like you tend to kind of look around and see like, okay, well, what is everybody else doing? And then it's a lot of experimentation, and you just really kind of just trying to figure out your way. But in that, you kind of get wrapped up, you get overwhelmed, you get tired, you get frustrated. And really, you just need to take a step back and realize, why are you doing this? Like, what is your why, right? So that's pretty much what that third verse is about. It really just comes from the perspective of trying to be successful and do these things, but it's taking a toll on me mentally and physically. And why am I doing this to myself? All right, so now the song is complete, right? Going to the mix and master phase. I'm not sure what song I referenced for this. I might not have used a reference, but nonetheless, I got the mix done, got the master done, did the best I can. I really enjoyed doing that, but, just trying to get better, improve upon the craft. So once I got that done, then we went into the cover art, and pretty much the idea behind the cover art, made it in Canva. Make most of my cover arts in Canva unless I outsource that. Really was just trying to look at a way to capture, hey, these superficial things. Like, how do I capture the look and the idea of these superficial things? And the title, Gluttony, man, I know gluttony historically is usually referred to like overeating, right? So like, I just kind of looked at it as, hey, it's the overindulgence of something. So for me, it was like, okay, it's the overindulgence of these things that represent success, right? It's just, it's reaching for more, which is good, but it's only good if you're self-aware, right? So how do I capture this in visual form? So did my best to, hey, I saw this lady, pretty lady, whatever, put her on a face, and it looked like it kind of captured that glitz and glam a side of things that we all kind of see, that's like, hey, it's pretty, but all that glitters isn't gold. So I kind of got that look, and then I just added some of the things around, cars or whatever else, and I just kind of sprinkled that over the rest of the visual there, and then just kind of did like a tattoo on this pretty girl, and that's, put Gluttony, and then put obviously myself and East Atlanta Ant. So kind of like this pretty girl had these tattoos, right? So yeah, I thought it was cool, man. I enjoyed it, and that's pretty much how we came up with the visual cover art. And I know I didn't speak much to the mix and master, but hey, I did it. I don't want to bore you with the details on that. Yeah. All right, so without rambling on too much, yeah, that's what the song Gluttony is all about. Main takeaway that I want you guys to take away from this song, if you play it, is just enjoy the story, enjoy the self-reflection, and really just identify the why you do the things you do. Why is it that you want the things that you want? Make sure you try to gain some clarity around that. Ask yourself those questions. Sit with that. Think about the answer that comes from that, and hopefully it can improve your life a little bit. So that's pretty much all I got. Man, I hope y'all doing well. Peace and love always. Y'all know the vibes. It's KMoE. Yard.
Fast cars, living large, designer clothes, big boat, big house, a lot of friends, got some likes but not enough.